Danny, are you giving the Cowboys a chance to catch the Philadelphia Eagles?
No.
No.
Oh. No chance.
No chance. I think what Dallas is doing is really impressive, and it's a little too late. Not to just be totally beholden to the odds makers, but the Eagles are minus 900 to win the NFC. They're a
NFC East.
NFC East, excuse me, NFC East. Yeah, they're a 9-1 favorite to win the division. The side-by-sides of the remaining schedule, it's very hard for me to see either thing needing, like, you would need Dallas to win out and Philly to go 3-2 for it to be 11-5-1 for Dallas and 11-6 for Philly. Or sure, you could have Philly having a losing record there. But I think that is way overstating the problems on Philadelphia. Like, you guys are talking a lot about the supernatural funk.
Thank you.
And I get it. You guys were a show on TV when the supernatural funk happened. And sure, there's a lot of the same characters that are involved. But this team is the defending champion. This team has an impressive resume this season.
So did that team. That team was the defending NFC champion that was 10-1 with a resume, including beating the Chiefs like this team has beaten the Chiefs and some other really, I'm not picking out the Chiefs because I remember the game,
Bucks.
some other really good games that season.
But you're 2 games in, right? It's a 2-game losing streak
Yes.
right now for Philly against Dallas, who's playing as well as basically any team in football, and the 1 seed in the NFC. And that's all of a sudden like a doomsday scenario. Like these are not embarrassing losses for Philly. The vibes are bad. We're in complete agreement on that. Their offense is underachieving. They're the most expensive offense in football, and they're 24th in yards and 19th in scoring. Like, offense is underachieving. We agree with that. But this Eagles team is not bad. It's not a bad team.
It's definitively not a bad team. But where I disagree with you is I'm not. To me, the warning signs did not start in the second half against Dallas, because even that Dallas game, they're up 21-0. The warning signs started way before that. Now, I don't know if we can throw up the Eagles' schedule or not, but if you remember the games leading into it, that Green Bay game was 10-7.
Yep.
We were like, what is going on with the offense? What was the Lions 16-10? It was 16 to something. It was
16-9.
16-9. So the offense, you're right. They're in the 20th-ish in scoring and yards. They also have more 3-and-outs than any team in the league.
Yep.
The passing offense to me feels bordering on broken, and Saquon has been one of the least effective running backs in the NFL this season. So that's why, to me, I think the Vegas odds are way off. I am not saying it is better than a 50% chance it happens, but giving them any chance, to me, it's like a 1-in-4 shot that Philadelphia collapses.
Danny, you don't buy and I know we can split it any way we want, but a 2-game losing streak, if I also say 4-4 in their last 8? Like, 4-4, but you can be well, actually 5-4 in the last 9. I know it's strange, but if you start to look at it as sort of a festering issue that has finally come to the.
Yeah, but the teams that they have down the stretch, I still think that they're considerably better than. I don't think they're going to lose.
One of them has Peyton Manning, the quarterback. I don't know.
That's a game they could lose, but they are favored by 3 in LA. They'll be favored in 4 of their last 5.
Yes.
Right, and you say they need to lose
3 of them.
3 of those games. So they need to lose multiple games in which they are favored down the stretch.
Like their last 2.
Okay, Nick, but you were saying it was a close win over Detroit or it was a close win over Philly when last year, they just know how to win. The Chiefs are the champs, and they just know how to win those close games. The Eagles are the champs that have won some close games.
And then go, Brew. The Chiefs had last year a basis of 6 consecutive years of excellence. The Eagles we went to the Super Bowl, then we looked really good and fell apart entirely. We went to the Super Bowl, and then we looked really good and are teetering. That's where we are in the timeline. So that, to me, and there is so much more. The Chiefs last was what's wrong with the Chiefs? And inside, they're celebrating after a blocked field goal win. They're making a documentary about a potential 3-peat. They felt good. The Eagles on the inside seem as not at all as confident, if you will, that everything is okay as Kansas City did last year.
Yeah, I'm with Danny. Now, I'm not saying zero chance. I think it's very, very slim. I mean, I do think we over-scrutinize. And look, in fair, they bring it on themselves. If the Eagles didn't have all this foolishness coming out of the locker room with A.J. Brown and all that stuff, we probably never would have started looking at every single game and, the offense, this. Look, I get 10-7 against Green Bay, 10 points, that's all you scored. That's a great win, though. That's Green Bay. You held them to 7 points. Detroit, you only scored 16, still a great win. Like you said it. Detroit, Green Bay, Kansas City, Tampa Bay, and the LA Rams, who everybody feels is the best team in the league. That was this, like, I do think, Danny, here's where I probably differ with you. If they lose to the Chargers, then I think they could fall into that supernatural funk again. 3 straight losses, Dallas is right on your tail, then I think they could plummet. But right now, I'm not ready to say that.
The only problem with that is Dallas is an underdog in Detroit. Dallas can lose this game too.
Dallas absolutely can lose this game.
And I think you're picking them too, right?
Yeah, I think Dallas is going to – my belief is I think Dallas is going to go 4-1 down the stretch.
Do you think Dallas is going to catch them?
Like I said, right now, if you offered me an even money bet on it, I would say no. But if you offered like the Vegas odds, absolutely, and right around, I'd say about a 1-in-4 chance. Because the Dallas to me has a couple games I would be shocked if they lost. I would be shocked if Dallas lost to, they have Minnesota.
Yep.
And I'd be shocked if they lost, if it's meaningful, week 18 to whatever's left of the Giants at that point.
They're probably trying to lose that.
Right, the Giants. Right, sure. And so I would be shocked if they lost those games. So for me, the question is, can the Cowboys go 2-1 against Detroit, the Chargers, and Washington to get to that 4-1? I think 5-0 is unrealistic. 8 straight wins, I think, is unrealistic. So to me, 4-1 is reasonable. Philadelphia, and this is the other reason I push back against the Kansas City comps from last year. Kansas City last year in the regular season, it was ugly, it was weird. They lost once. We are 3/4 of the way through the regular season. Philadelphia has lost 4 times. So it's the idea that they are, listen, they play ugly, but they always win. No, they don't.
I think it's weird, Danny, and again, I'm the vibes guy, which is kind of silly, but I do think there's some validity to it.
Sure.
And I do think there's some validity to Ben Johnson changing the culture, right? Vibes are silly, but culture is meaningful. Mm-hmm. So, wow, Ben Johnson has a great culture there, and they really believe each other, and they're supporting each other. So if you think that is great, and you see the vibes or culture in the Eagles locker room that seems like the opposite of the Bears, and they played, and it really went that way, I'm surprised that you don't give it as much validity to the bad vibes in Philadelphia.
I agree that the vibes are bad, and I also think that last year we watched A.J. Brown read a book on the sideline and they won a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Last year they never lost. Last year they started 2-2, and the vibes were bad. They never lost.
Yeah, that helps.
4 days ago, Chicago ran for 300 yards on them.
Too many.
The week before that, they blew the first 21-point lead the team has given up this century. We have moved past the it's ugly and it's weird, but they win, to we have lost in embarrassing fashion in back-to-back games. That's now where we're at with Philadelphia. And Dallas, on the other hand, has the exact opposite feeling. It's like, we played the last 2 Super Bowl champions, and in comeback fashion, games we were down in the fourth quarter against both of them, won them both.
Yeah. They've also lost to Arizona and Carolina. And yes, pre-trade deadline, I understand, but Dallas is not some juggernaut.
I don't think Dallas is a juggernaut, but what do you think they're going to go down the stretch? 4-1?
Yeah, 3-2, 4-1.
Okay, if they go 4-1, then I think going into Week 18, Philadelphia has to win that game to win the division.
All right, great news, everybody. You like cool stuff? Well, you're in for a treat. Bears #1 seed in the NFC. Ben Johnson, said we're winning in spite of our passing game, not because of it. None of us are pleased with that right now. Whoops, clarified that. Turns out he on Caleb, he continues to get better each week, and I couldn't be more pleased with how he played. Well, that's great. But that's the problem with editorializing, and that's why we have cool stuff like packed stats. You don't have to,
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't have to editorialize. The numbers speak for themselves.
Yeah.
Exactly. This
Good
is why
thing
it's
is-
cool.
I brought my briefcase with all my cool stats. I'm glad you mentioned Ben Johnson. Yes, Cole Kmet will be on the show in
excellent.
just over 10 minutes or so. We go to number 1. And Wilds, I know you like Mike Vrabel, but Ben Johnson should be the coach of the year. Here's the thing. Look back to
Explosive plays.
Okay, hold on. This was the Detroit Lions last season. Remember these numbers. 154 rushing yards per game, 109 explosive plays, second in the NFL. This is the Detroit Lions at this point last season. Show me the Bears through 13 weeks. 154 yards rushing and 102 explosive plays, the most in the NFL. It is a remarkable one-year transformation. I don't know how that graphic got in there with
Yeah,
Ben
it
Johnson's
was a
shirt
little
off.
distracted.
It might have been a mistake. It might have been intentional. It might be my screen.
Looks like KW playing ping pong.
You guys can't fit in the same jacket. Jack, take it seriously. But honestly, the fact that he got Detroit's offense to Chicago with Caleb not playing like Jared Goff in 1 year is remarkable. He should be the coach of the year.
Do you think it's outrageous? Like, do you think Vrabel just has it sewn
I have
up?
a mean take. I don't want to say it.
Wow. You want to trade seats so you can pretend you're.
He called me a liar from this seat yesterday.
Yeah.
You can say anything
Bruce,
you want.
sometimes I feel like Coach of the Year is a little bit of a diss.
Oh yeah, like it's like
A little. It's not like Coach of the Year, Sean McVay. Coach of the Year, Andy Reid. It's
It's
like
the Overachiever
like
Award.
good for
Yeah.
you for this team. Oh my God, I can't believe it. Oh, with this quarterback can't.
So do
complete
you
any
not
passes.
want it?
I still want it, but it is a little bit of a diss.
no. It's,
I think personally it's Vrabel. I mean, we'll see how the rest of the season goes, but that team won 4 games last year.
so here's
He's the
I
favorite.
know he's brought a lot of new players in.
I wouldn't
but it's
hate
not a
it.
whole-
listen, I think there are actually a handful of deserving candidates. I think Mike McDonald in Seattle. I know Brew's not as high.
They
in
won
Seattle.
10 last year. They are, you know.
They
That's
won
a diss award again.
but I think he's a legitimate
How
candidate.
Shanahan?
Shanahan is again like almost too good of a coach to be allowed to win the award.
Yeah.
Here is where I think this. I didn't know that the last year's Lions offense with Jahmyr Gibbs and all those weapons is
Cool
now
stat.
this year's Bears offense. That is a great stat.
Thanks, buddy.
Here's the other piece of
Cool
it.
stat.
There are
Guys, you're so kind.
2 tried and true ways to turn a team around. One is quarterback take a massive leap.
Yeah.
And the other is what the Bears are doing. And that to me is more coach related. Because Caleb, eliminating the sacks has been huge, and I do think he is considerably better than the last year. But
is.
I give Vrabel some of the credit for the Drake May, and he picked Josh McDaniel and all of it.
Culture.
But a lot of the Patriots' turnaround is their second-year quarterback is playing like an MVP. The Bears, to me, it's more coaching related, and so that to me is a
That's
legit.
a cool stat, I think.
Thanks, man.
Cool
Josh
conversation.
McDaniels can win assistant of the year.
I think he deserves that.
And Ben Johnson can win
Offensive assistant.
Well, there's not a. I think it's just
This
one. Yeah.
Robert Saleh, man.
Yeah, that's
Wow,
that's good,
Bruce
too.
trying to give the Niners
that's- I
all
like
these
that.
awards.
I do.
I get it though. They're
been
carrying
incredible.
Purdy like if
Yeah,
it's a
that's a
tough
great
lift.
That is a great one.
You guys
All
want
right,
another
second
cool stat?
Yeah.
Yeah, this one's even cooler.
All right, great.
Do they go and they get cooler as it goes on?
Actually, not this week.
Oh.
I think I led with my cool
They're
stuff.
all
I'm being totally
equally
honest.
cool.
But stay tuned. All right. The Bears defense
Well, we can't
is going to
do-
take. Yeah, no, this is Jordan Love stat. It's going to take away a win from the Packers. Here's the thing, Jordan Love. Nick, you said it before the year. Most significant player in the NFL because they've got a Super Bowl caliber team. Yeah. When he doesn't turn the ball over, they're undefeated. When Jordan Love has one measly turnover, they are 1-3-1. This week,
Wiles loves this.
they are playing the team that leads the NFL in takeaways. Jordan Love is coming off the only game in his career where he had 4 touchdowns with no turnovers associated with
Who's
it.
got the least turnovers in the league? Do you know?
Probably you guys.
The Packers.
Oh, the
Yes, for giveaves. That is true.
Yeah, the most.
Jordan
given.
Love's, with 3 interceptions is.
But when he does it, they play a lot of close games. When he does it, they lose.
But he never
1-3-1.
does it.
So listen, I think that
Last goal.
what'd you say?
Less cool.
Well, Wiles is a big believer in that turnover is the worst thing you can do, which is probably true.
It is, but I think it's. I don't like that. I actually think it's. I don't love leading the league in
takeaways.
It's not going to stay that way.
You think it's not sustainable?
Yeah, it's just how the ball bounced,
Right.
Okay.
But-
yeah, that's fine.
Less so about the Bears' part and more so about the Packers' part. Brew, you agree with at this point, my preseason take that he's the most intriguing player in the league this season. Like the player whose variance will impact who does or doesn't win the Super Bowl more than just about anybody.
I think he's up there. I think now who's become interesting is Drake May. Just because can he continue to play this way in the playoffs, that would be. But I mean, he's up there for sure.
With Drake, I think it's pretty clear he has to be excellent for them to have any chance to win the Super Bowl. I think for Jordan, it's a little different in that I think he has to avoid disaster. Because I think they can just lean on, not for 4 playoff games, but they might be able to win a playoff game where Jordan Love throws for 125 yards.
Yeah.
And so I think that I'd be very interested if the Bears can turn him over.
Okay, I think we need another cool stat.
You want one more?
Yeah, this a little bit cooler if you have. I don't know how many you have in there.
I have one more. It's
Okay.
about a game that we haven't talked about yet. I think it's pretty cool, if you don't mind.
Yeah, there
I
we
do
go.
say so myself. Everyone's going to be talking Bills and Bengals about the quarterbacks. Joe Burrow, Josh Allen.
Definitely.
That
Right,
would
those
make
are the-
sense.
those
I
are-
hope you are too.
I'm not.
Okay.
man.
Oh,
It's
there you
actually
go.
going to come down to the rush defense, the coolest thing in the NFL. The Bengals, 31st ranked rush defense. The Bills, the 30th ranked rush defense. Can either of them stand up? I think someone earlier called this the old double must win.
Yeah.
The Bengals have rushed for 120 or more yards in 4 of their last 6 games. That coincides with when Joe Flacco took over. So if the Bengals get competent quarterback play, they also are able to run the ball. The Bills, of course, the #1 running team in the NFL. So these are 2 good running teams going up against 2 of the 3 worst rush defenses in the league. Which one do you trust more?
Yeah, I mean, this to me is a disaster stat for Cincy. Because I think the Bills have a legitimate great running attack. I think the Bengals running attack's fine. And so I knew the Bills had a bad run defense because Wilds talks about it at every conversation on or off the air. The Bengals,
I kinda thought it was
right?
cool.
We just knew the Bengals kind of had an overall bad defense. I didn't know it was specifically
Do
the
they,
run.
bro?
The Bengals?
Yeah. Do they have a bad defense against a good running team? You tell me.
Well, the Ravens decided not to run.
Why? Stonewall Cincinnati.
No,
they're
that's-
calling it. Oh my gosh.
No way.
Steel curtain.
You really believe
No,
in
I
that
said that, and you guys laughed me off the stage.
Yes.
when you said
he's still
yesterday
upset
that I
that we
was-
didn't. That
defense?
this.
Yeah, he
Brew,
said you're in trouble, Brew.
Brew, I gotta
yesterday.
tell you.
As I was coming down the stairs
What-
for a fun hang,
Yeah.
he said you're in trouble.
I
said, what?
Competitive
The
sports
Bengals,
debate.
they shut down that defense. I told you.
Brew,
I did.
He wouldn't
Brew.
have done that when the Patriots were
bad.
terrible.
I am telling you, the Wednesday before Thanksgiving show, the long tail of that, how it has impacted Wild's opinions of all of us
Not true.
and his takes. He was like, I was disrespected
I
on
was.
takes I was proven correct on, and I didn't get my just due. No one came on TV the next day because we were off and
That's
said
right.
Wiles was right.
That's what's been
And then
festering.
Monday it got lost in the fog of
it
war.
was festering.
You've been mad all week. All week, and you brought it back, Parko.
It's a cool stat.
I was like, I knew there's no data for it. So I pulled the Sports Illustrated headline.
He's still
and he's like,
mad.
you just pulled the Sports Illustrated headline. That's just support. That's just a. I said, I know, but someone agrees with me. It was the Bengals.
The Bengals
DC.
defense was.
And they're better. And I goes, they're like, get out of here.
Yeah.
They're like, pack your stuff up and your shared office in the league.
By the way,
I said they're good, and I was
I
proven right.
still
No
don't
one
think
sent me a text.
They're not good.
I don't
Stat
think
shows
they're
it.
good.
Yeah, they're not
I
good.
don't think that the Bengals defense all of a sudden is.
Why
turned
didn't
the corner.
Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson do
Because
anything against
the
them?
Ravens are broken.
You can't run the ball?
They could. They wouldn't let him.
Why?
He had, what did he have?
Were they
10
throwing
for
the games?
60?
He ran for a 30-yard touchdown.
What else? Immediately.
And then the Ravens coaches said, you know
That's-
what?
You know what?
That's
They
tearing the show
solved that.
apart.
They plugged that hole.
This guy. KW.
I'm telling you.
It's
The
been-
Bengals
it's been-
defense is going to
It's
win.
been a week now.
Yeah.
Are we okay about last
You're
week's
still
show?
mad about stuff from 5 years ago.
What?
You're
Just
mad
the
about
Matt Ryan thing. That's really inside.
He's mad about pandemic stuff.
Joining us now on the OT, a guy I know loves it as well. Caught a touchdown in that game. Talking to this guy, knowing him for years. Tight end for the Chicago Bears. Cole Kmet. Cole, thank you very much for joining the show. I'm worried about Ben, though. If he's taking his shirt off for a regular season win over Philly, where does he go from here? I don't know what the next level is after he goes shirts off.
Yeah, dude, I'm just as curious as you are, man. So I guess we'll have to see where it goes. Thanks for having me, Danny, obviously. But what I can't believe we're working with Greg here, especially on Packer Week. This is kind of nuts to me. So, no, I'm just messing with Greg. Huge fan of yours, and thanks for having me on the show. This is great.
Yeah,
So I'm glad you addressed the elephant in the room, because I was going to ask, how does it feel looking at me, someone that you grew up probably hating? I don't want to speak for you. Just how does it feel just in this moment right now?
Well, first of all, hate's a strong word. Hate's a strong word. I think as you get into the league and you become more aware of what it is, you grow more of appreciation for all players. But that being said, yes, as a kid, I did grow up maybe hating on you a little bit. The Greg Jennings Madden video did help your cause a little bit in my household, but no, nonetheless, excited about the game this weekend, and it was always great watching you and the Bears play twice a year.
Yeah, so you can speak to this rivalry from a different perspective than a lot of us, even who has played in this rivalry. Like, I obviously was drafted by the Packers. Most guys who play in this rivalry are drafted by the team, and then they or just are on the roster, and then they're kind of thrust into this rivalry. But you, growing up in the area, being a fan from childhood, how different and unique is this rivalry for you?
Yeah, well, it's really special. I mean, like I stated earlier, watch this game multiple times a year, and it was always a big deal whenever the Bears were hosting the Packers at Soldier, or we went up there up to Lambeau, and it's really a great game to be part of now, and one I definitely don't take for granted. For me personally, my sister's boyfriend, Lucas Van Ness, plays for the Packers, so there's that family element, and then one of my best friends, Nick, who was in my wedding, is a diehard Packers fan, and I can't even get him to wear my jersey. The only time he's worn it was actually overseas in London when he came to our game last year, but that's beside the point. But yeah, no, it's a big rivalry here in my family. Got a lot of connections, and it's a lot of fun for sure.
At all disappointed in your sister? A little bit of a traitor? I don't know. I'll say it if you won't.
I mean, a little bit, right? I guess she's a traitor twice a year. So I mean, she'll root on. She'll root on for me specifically, but I don't know where her allegiance truly lies on Bears-Packers game day.
Well, I can speak for your sister right now. She's with the good guys. Let's just call it what it is.
Take it easy. Cole, so the shirts off thing is one thing, but you've been in a Bear since 2020, your whole career. You've had 3 head coaches. This is an offensive transformation. It's night and day from what you guys were last year to what you are now. Can you, beyond what we see in press conferences, what is it like playing for Ben Johnson, and what makes him different than other guys that have coached you before?
Yeah, man. Well, it's been awesome. It's been a great experience so far. I think Ben, he's just so on top of everything, and he's super detail oriented. And obviously, we've seen the intensity at times. I'm sure you guys have seen that, and we feel that every day. But he's also able to have some fun with it too, and you see that with all the trick plays and all those type of things. So he keeps it fun in that regard. But I think really what stood out to me is just. And what's really come on along for us recently here is our run game, and his passion for the run game and scheming it up and the way he installs it. It's been a lot of fun to be part of, and I think that's what has got a lot of buy-in from the guys across the board on the offense. Not just the offensive line and backs, but that migrates to the tight ends and wide receivers as well. Just him highlighting and showing the importance of everybody on a given run play. And I think that's why, we've been so successful here the past few weeks.
Cole, every year when I was in Green Bay, we seemingly drafted a receiver. And you have been one of those players that you get the deal. Obviously, you get drafted. They drafted Colston Loveland. You were a focal point in the offense. This year has been different for you. However, you're still impacting the offense in the passing game, but more importantly, you are actually killing it in the running game. Speak to what that's been like, what that adjustment has been like for you, because a lot of guys struggle when they're asked to do something that is not as exciting as pass catching.
Yeah, it was definitely an adjustment at first, but I think, credit to Ben and the coaching staff, what they do such a good job of is putting guys in positions that they're best at and doing that consistently throughout the year. And I think I felt that with myself in terms of the situations I've been put in within the run game and in the pass game as well. And then you see that across the board with everybody else. But, it's been fun, and I've been having a lot of fun winning this year and, doing whatever I got to do in order for us to get wins and get W's. And obviously that's, being a big part of the run game. And then, when the ball does come away, going to make a play. So it's been a lot of fun. And I know all the guys across the board, whether it's DJ, Rome, guys who have also been here in the past that maybe have had a little bit of adjustment as well. They're all bought in as well, and we're all about winning, and I think that's been showing up here recently.
So the running game's been super successful. Ben Johnson's clearly a truth teller. He said you guys have been winning in spite of your passing game, and I watched the full press conference. He wasn't calling out Caleb. He says, he's just 1 of 11, and it's about footwork and depth of target on routes and all these sorts of things. But, I guess the follow-up for me on when he said you guys are winning in spite of your passing game is, what's then realistic for the passing game the rest of this year? Is this the type of thing that we got to wait to see the passing game and you guys win because of it next year and you need an offseason? Or do you feel like you guys are close?
I personally feel like we're close. And I go back to, our run game the first 3-4 weeks of the season before the bye. And we weren't ranked very highly in that regard either. And we got that thing fixed up. And I think what we saw on tape with the run game was that things were there, but we just kind of had to continue to rep it and get on the same page with it. And I think there's something to that with our pass game as well. I think you see at times things are open, and whether we don't hit it or guys aren't at the right depth, or we need to be better with our timing and getting to our landmark and our spots. Those are all things that kind of play a part in the pass game having success. And obviously it's been a few weeks here since we've had a lot of success here in the pass game. But I think you can see on tape where those opportunities are. We just got to go out there and execute on it. And, I know we're working tirelessly here to get that fixed during the course of the week of practice and the practice reps that we do get.
Cole, there's so much focus, obviously, on Caleb, and the history of that position in Chicago. Can you contextualize, where he is now versus where he was last year and where you think he ultimately can get to?
Yeah, well, obviously everyone sees all the talent, the arm talent, the ability to move out of the pocket, all those type of things. And he's had that since the moment he walked in the building here. I think from my standpoint, and I don't really keep up, I know you guys have some of the stats on the screen. I don't really look at that too much in terms of dictating how he's playing or whatever. But what I noticed from him more so from last year to this year is his operation within the huddle, getting guys lined up. And I think that's where his biggest growth has been. And I know it's a huge challenge for these guys coming from college to pro. And, they go from looking at the sideline to a picture of Kermit the Frog and relaying a play that way to now you're in a huddle, getting a play call from Ben Johnson, having to deliver it to the guys with confidence and in an effective manner, in a timely manner, get everybody lined up, recognize the defense, and then get in the right play that you gave in the huddle. So there's a lot to it, and I've seen a ton of growth from Caleb in that regard, and that's been really cool to see.
Cole, there's nothing that really galvanizes the city of Chicago quite like the Bears. What did you make of 1,000+ people in sub-freezing weather lining up for a free $4 hot dog at the Wiener Circle? I felt like it was a perfect encapsulation of our city.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not surprised at all. I mean, you knew this was what was going to happen, so it seems like everyone was wearing their jackets and came prepared for the line. But no, it's cool to see. I mean, obviously when the Bears are doing well, I remember this when I was a kid, for the times when they'd go on win streaks or that Super Bowl year, the city's on fire, and it's a lot of fun to see the fans having a good time with it. So was glad Coach Johnson could help feed some people in Chicago this past week.
All right, well, keep proving them wrong. They were doubting you guys against Philly. You're an underdog against Green Bay. Beat those Packers, okay?
Good luck, man.
Take it down.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get more from the show and to check out clips from other shows on FS1.